My name is Bill Weaverling, and I'm in sales at Long McArthur. I've been here a little while. If I'm here next month, it will be 59 years. My first wife passed away in 1990, and she was a wonderful, wonderful lady. And then a couple years later, I met Betty, and we got married in '92, and we've been married and very happy ever since. I have a son and a daughter, and Betty has 2 boys, and got some good extended family that way, and a lot of grandkids and great-grandkids, and we just enjoy family a lot too. I grew up in Johnstown, PA. My dad was a steel worker in the U.S. Steel, and I got a job in the Bethlehem Steel Company, and I worked there for about a year before I went into the Air Force. And I worked in what they called the car shop, and we made 22 railroad cars per day. 22 complete railroad cars per day. And my job was a heater. I would heat rivets and throw rivets to the guys. And that was a riot just to watch that. I had rivets all sizes I would throw. And we had a guy called a sticker. And he had a little pair of tongs, and these rivets are coming through the air and they're white hot. And he was so good, he'd catch one like that with his stickers, and he'd put it in the hole. The bucker would come up and hold it, and the rivet would brrr. That's the way they worked, and we just kept going. Yeah, but that was a fun job. I worked 7 to 3. We usually got done early, and we could leave when we had to wait to punch time clock at 3 o'clock, but that was a fun job. And I did that before I went in the Air Force. I went to the Azores, and that was my first, that was after I was married, and it was my first TDY, tour of duty, and I stopped in the Azores. I bought my wife some Chanel No. 5, I remember that, because things were cheap over there. And then I went to Goose Bay, Labrador. It was 40 degrees below zero when we got off the plane. And I was only there for 90 days, and that was good. That was fine. And one of the planes, before we shut the door, we made a big old snowball like this and just packed as icy as we could. And we got it right up inside the door, and then shut the door and locked it. So whenever that plane came back and landed in Louisiana, those guys, when the plane lands and they park, they put chocks under the wheels, and then the first thing they do is get up and unlock that door. That's why we did that. We had a blast. Well, I came to Salina back in 1957. I had a brother-in-law that lived here, and I was looking for a job. And he wanted to know if I could sell cars. And I said, well, I don't know, but I'd be willing to try. I said, I'm a hard worker and I can do about whatever. And so he took me down to Long McArthur at 340 North Santa Fe, introduced me to the sales manager, who was Jim Carlin at that time. And Jim interviewed me, and he said, well, I'll tell you what, Bill, he said, I'll let you know in a day or two. And I said, why don't you tell me right now? I want a job before the day's over somewhere. He looked at me and he said, why don't you come to work in the morning? So that's the way it began. When I started selling, we had to do about everything, not just show and demonstrate a car, you know. We did the whole thing. I washed them, I cleaned them, I did the finance, I did everything. It was totally different. But, and now, of course, it's, I'd love to be 25 years old starting here right now, because it's certainly different. I'd have a lot of fun. Yeah, but there's been a lot of changes.
Yeah.
A lot of changes in the way the vehicles are manufactured and all the technology and everything now. That's getting pretty high tech for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the favorite part of my job is finding the customer something that they really, really like and that they can afford. And when they drive out of here in their new vehicle, whatever it might be, that they're really pleased with it, they're really happy, and they stay that way. I've sold, since I've been doing this, probably about 13,000 vehicles, so isn't that crazy? The owners and all the company here are very sincere, and everybody wants to please the customer, number one. And if somebody comes in and has any difficulty with a product, why we take care of it and keep them pleased, keep them happy. So that's the main thing. One of my favorite songs is "Lost in the 50s Tonight." I like the old 50s and 60s music a lot, you know. Ronnie Millsap. Hold me close, baby, follow my heart, you know, that song. Maybe a blizzard. It's not a food, but I like blizzards. It was plan your work and work your plan. That's what I used to do when I was didn't know any better. I just worked night and day. See, that's what I did. I would make a list in the morning, what I was going to do, and I wouldn't stop until I finished that list. So. You got to have water, and probably need a Subway sandwich, you know, at least. Probably need a nice pillow for my head, some suntan oil. Need one more, right? A good companion. I'd love to be able to fly.